Notts County Talk. It's Thursday. It's 7:30. It is episode 89 of the Pavis perspective. George, you know, if you add 11 to 89, you get 100 episodes. How good would that be to get to 100 episodes without falling out?
It would be good. It would be good. It won't be as good as your maths, though.
Yeah, it is.
That's
That
some
is
really good
it's
maths. That is
strong. I got it written down here, so I didn't forget that.
Good lad.
But I've been working on that since about 4ish today. But you know,
Good lad.
We're powered by Better Bites for this season, as we mentioned last week. Link will be in the description. As I said last week, and new to this season, go in and use the code Pavis Perspective, and you'll get money off either used and improved laptops or laptop repairs. So definitely something to check out. The content we provide every single Thursday is powered by Better Bites as well.
I actually picked my laptop up yesterday from Better Bites because it went in for a repair. And I'm not just saying this genuinely. It's like a new laptop. It's so quick.
How quick?
So, yeah.
Iron Man quick or
quicker than your maths?
No way. Impossible. I don't care. I don't care that we're powered by Better Bites. It's not quicker than my maths. Let's have a look then. Who have we got? We've got Finn. We've got Brazilian Fury, Big Meech, Milkman Hero here, Elvis, Paul, Len, Jordan, lovely lad, Chris, James. Thank you for joining us again. This time next week, literally 7 days from now, we'll be previewing Sutton in League Two. Unbelievable that it's there. George, we got a ticket, didn't we? We got a ticket within about 7 minutes of them going on sale. I think we purchased, I think it went through at 8:09, which was obviously 8 minutes. Again, some speedy maths from me. After they went on sale, and I think we got something like number 380. So we did already selling quite fast. I'd love to know how we have sold currently. I'd love to know if those numbers were just related to this, the part we're standing in. Because I know there's a covered standing section, uncovered standing section, and seating. I'd love to know that. But so yeah, I'd love to know that. Question for you there from Milkman. Close relation. Just for this week, isn't it? It's your brother.
Oh, dear.
Nathan, finally able to catch us live. Really appreciate that, Nathan. Get some questions in. So we will answer your questions. And as always, we want as much interaction as possible. So, George, 9 days to go. We tweeted it this morning. We're into single figures now. Single figures. Absolutely buzzing or not? Or
yeah, I'm buzzing.
You're a pretty calm person.
I'm a pretty calm person. No, I'm buzzing, mate. Are you?
Yeah, I can't wait. I think the fact it's an away day, first game of the season, I do like that. Means if you get that good result at the start, you can always go and then build on that at home. So I'm just happy about that. There he is. We're back. George Vizard's back with us.
Yeah, I don't know who Gore Vizard was.
No, I don't know. Milkman.
Imposter.
10 points for finding that. So Paul says, Mullen injury thoughts. We'll be chatting about that this evening. Big Meech, how about Did You Scream? We'll be talking about that very, very shortly. Loads to talk about. We're talking about the rumours that are still going on for Deborah from Halifax. We'll talk if we need him. We'll talk about what he would add to us. We've got plenty to talk about. So, how many away days we plan this season? We'll talk about that as well. George, we haven't been to as many pre-season games as we have in previous years. Probably less than ever, just due to the falling on nights and Saturdays we haven't been able to do anything. But you've seen the highlights. 5 goals away at Alfreton. What are your thoughts on what you've seen?
It's obviously the pre-season sort of built like gradually got better, hasn't it? Obviously, we're playing teams that are obviously below us in the pyramid by a bit of a margin now, especially with us getting promotion. But it's good to see us sort of dominating, really, especially our last game. Obviously, Langstaff getting 3, McGoldrick off the mark as well, Scott getting 2 in his last 2. It's just all positive, it's all confidence. And for me, that's what pre-season's about. We've obviously got a couple of games coming up now as well that I'm excited for, to see how we sort of come out of those. But yeah, so far, so good, really, in pre-season. And McGoldrick's goal, by the way, what a finish. You seen it?
Yeah, it was a screamer.
Lovely goal.
The way he stopped the ball, allowed the player to run past him, it was an absolutely great finish. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that this season. James says, Alfreton game felt like watching Notts from last season. Most of the ball, all attacking play, never let them have the ball for long. Now, I did see something, and I know it's pre-season, I know it's Alfreton, but we are getting closer to the start of the League Two season. And I did see a tweet, I'm not sure if you saw it, from an Alfreton fan, that pretty much said they've seen a lot of teams go there and play in pre-season. Footballing sides, like Football League sides that have gone there and played pre-season. They said that Notts were one of the best footballing sides they've ever seen at their ground. Obviously got some bites from other League Two fans saying it's pre-season, what you're talking about. But it's good to hear, isn't it? It is really good to hear. Forest fans were saying that, you know, it was a first half performance on us that was absolutely brilliant. So I don't know. I feel like we're getting recognition for Luke Williams, and we'll go on to talk about Gab Sutton's prediction as well shortly, who we had on the channel last year, predicted Luke Williams to be incredible, and he's done a prediction for this season. Have you noticed, and I don't know if this is just me, so many this pre-season, so many of our goals have been from crosses. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
I'd say like 50%.
Yeah, around that, yeah.
I don't think we had that many from crosses last season.
No.
In the actual season.
No, you definitely, no, 100%, definitely not.
You think that's something that they've worked on? Because I know we both spoke about final ball last season. Adam Chickson, we thought could have put in a few better balls. We definitely said Aaron the Man could have put in better crosses, and all of a sudden we're scoring from many crosses. Do you think that's something we've definitely worked on, or do you think it's just clicked so far? Do you think we're going to play the same way, basically?
What, as we did last season, or as we have in pre-season?
Last season.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too different, to be honest. Why change a winning formula? Do you know what I mean? I know it's a different league, but in terms of football and the way that we sort of dominated possession and play last year, I can't really see why you would change it. There was no real symptoms of needing to change it because obviously we broke records last season on a Notts County level and a league level as well. So for me, there's no real reason to change it. Maybe a few tweaks here and there. Obviously, you've got different people in certain roles now as well. Obviously, like you've got a player like McGoldrick, who seems to me to be a bit more of a presence than maybe someone like Ruben was. I'm not saying he's better than Ruben or anything like that. I'm just simply saying different player, different attributes. No, yeah, he probably is, but it sounded a little bit salty, didn't it? I didn't want it to come across like that. I'm just saying different players offer different things. So I think it will be interesting to see what McGoldrick offers in that regard. Yeah, so it's exciting times for sure.
No, I think go on.
No, go on.
I think that's an interesting point, talking about Ruben. I think longevity-wise, Ruben would offer more to the squad in the long run. Obviously, he's a younger player and he's a very, very good player. But right now, who are you going to have if you could only have one of those players? And based on what I've already seen, it has to be McGoldrick.
Yeah,
it has to be.
I think a vast majority of fans will probably say McGoldrick, won't they? Like, look at his caliber. He's Premier League a few years ago. Scored 20 goals. 20? No, it's more than 20. I think it was 22, wasn't it, for Derby in League One last season? That's a phenomenal turnaround for a player that's dropping down a league. The thing that, I mean, it's early days, isn't it? But Ruben had it in him where if he lost possession, he would absolutely pace back to regain possession and put a challenge in. It'd be interesting to see if McGoldrick will be the same. Who knows?
It'll be interesting, won't it? Interesting. Yeah. I mean, haven't seen massive amounts of McGoldrick. But I'll be interested to know that. Gerald, thank you for becoming a YouTube member of the channel. Massively appreciate that. Helps us out so much to produce the content we do. There was a question earlier that asked us how many away days we're going to get to this season. Out of the 23, I think we've worked out something like 18. possibly more if possible. But things like that help us out massively in terms of like equipment and being able to record the things we do. So thank you very much for that, Joe. I appreciate that. I don't know if we know our best team yet. In my head, Langstaff, McGoldrick, and on paper is the combination. Those two together for me is fantastic. They're gonna be the mainstay this season. 100% those two. Aaron Neman is definitely going to be starting on that side, and I think Adam Chickson is going to be starting on the other side. You then look into the midfield. Matty Palmer for me gets the place, as does John Bostock. Stone has his place, and Kyle Cameron has his place. Up to there, I'm not sure who gets the other two centre-back spots.
If Baldwin's fit, Baldwin.
And yeah, what the first part of what you said though is the key, isn't it? If he's fit.
Yeah.
And then that attacking position, Crowley, Austin.
Yeah, potentially. That's what I mean. I think we could see it changed a little bit. Maybe we might see McGoldrick coming in a little bit deeper and sort of supplying. Obviously, he'll be supplying Langstaff, but potentially another striker as well. So you've got him sort of playing like more of an advanced midfielder role. Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to see how we're going to line up because with us seeing Scott scoring goals as well, I'd feel hard done by leaving him out because I think whenever really called upon, other than the penalty at Wrexham, but it really doesn't matter. He's not really let us down. I'm a big fan of Scott, to be honest.
Yeah, you do rate him very, very highly, don't you?
Yeah,
as do I. But I think you're right. Like he's been on fire pre-season, and things like McGoldrick's rocket and Macca's hat trick that we haven't even talked about kind of overshadowed that in the last few games. James, the Crowley Austin Scott position is the biggest position battle for me. Yeah, I think it is in the whole side, to be honest. Right now, George, to start that game against Sutton, who do you go through out of those three?
Oh mate, it's an impossible question for me. That is.
I go Austin. I'm a massive Austin fan. Massive, huge. The energy he brings on that first game of the season.
What about Jones?
I haven't even spoken about Jones. SB's just said, what about Jones?
I know, that's what made me say it.
I reckon, do you know what? I reckon we sneak 12 on. I do. I reckon put 12 on for that opener. If you get a points
Williams
deduction, I think we're good enough to make up a points deduction as well.
Williams is going to have a headache, isn't he, next season?
Yeah,
trying to fit everyone in.
Yeah, there's no way if like I would buy now, and I think a lot of people say this. I would literally say we can't bring in another attacking player or a midfielder at all. Like we're so full to the point of the players that we've got in. There's everyone could start a game. Like you'd see Jim start a game. Anyone could be in that starting lineup, and you think, okay, do you know what I mean? There's not one person. Maybe Marias, but he's injured at the minute. If he was in over Macca, you'd be questioning it. But anyone else, there's no one in the squad.
Mate, there's so many, isn't there? So many players. Like, yeah, Austin, absolutely class when called upon. Like most games he was called upon last season. Mm-hmm. Jones is just, if we can keep Jones fit next season, he could literally get player of the year. Do you know what I mean? He's an incredible player. We're
going to talk about that, aren't we, later? We're going to talk about our predictions for player of the season. We are. So, very, very promising signs. Very promising signs from the Alfredson game. I know it's that pre-season and things can happen, but I'm glad we got hammered in pre-season by Stoke. You know, I am glad because I think that's like I'm a little bit superstitious. I wouldn't want to go through pre-season winning every game. I don't think you don't learn that much from it. If every game, I know we played Forest and we lost, but if every game was like Alfredson, what are you going to learn? We learned then that if a side has good enough players to get in behind, we're done. You know, we were absolutely. I know they're a good team. They're a championship team. They battered us, and one of the balls was a blind passing behind, and it took everyone out of the game. So I think it was a fantastic big test on Saturday against Shrewsbury, and I think it's very well placed because Shrewsbury finished 12th last season in League One, and they finished the season really poorly.
Yeah.
So they could have finished higher. They're what? We're only 59 points. Is not bad at all in League One. Be a very, very good test. They drew Coventry in pre-season. They haven't won a pre-season game yet, so they're going to be hungry to do it. I think it'll be I'll be interested to see how we do there. Hold our own or get a win, and I think it's been rounded off a fantastic pre-season. I really do. They've got some good players in their squad as well, so it'll round off a very good pre-season.
Yep.
That's the only one where result kind of does matter for me. I don't know if you agree. That last one going in there.
Yeah.
Result and performance.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So that's sort of the pre-season rounded off, and we'll be having a little chat about that next Thursday. But we'll be looking ahead mostly to that Sutton game. So Andrew agrees Shrewsbury will be a good test. Let's have a look. Quite a few people talking about how many subs we're going to have next season and the ability, I think, to have 5. We've spoken about an incredibly strong side. But there's a couple of people talking now about the defensive options. And Deborah's still being mentioned. And I saw Barnsley, I think it was, earlier in the week, post a tweet about 2 signings coming in. And neither of them were him. I think Gillingham were slightly linked with him. They posted about a signing today. It wasn't him. It's gone a little bit quiet.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Trialists for Notts have now, well, Claxton's nowhere to be seen. I assume that's gone.
Yep.
It's gone out of my head now. The guy from Wolves has gone a little bit quiet. You assume he would have been brought in by now. Do you think we're still in for Deborah or not? And would you take him?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, 100% take him. I think he'd fit in really well at Notts. We'll see. I'm just looking at the comments here. Someone said apparently he failed at medical at Barnsley.
Yeah. I don't know. Talking of failed medicals and injuries, then someone's already mentioned Cal Roberts. You know, absolute nightmare for him. But I want to talk about another injury, and it kind of made me think about Notts. Go over to America, you play a few games to get a few fans, and you get a punctured lung for your main striker. Yeah. Now, I've seen the incident, and I'm not saying this as a rival, as a rival side for next year. There's nothing wrong with that tackle. I don't know if you've seen it. He's literally gone for the ball. Yeah, Parkinson's lost his head with that. I'm really interested to know what people in the chat think, but in my eyes, that's an absolutely fine challenge. If you slow it down, they collide pretty much at the same time. Mullin makes contact with the ball as if you're going to go out and injure someone. And what's the guy's like 18, 19 years of age, and he's being slated like that, which I heard Man U weren't happy about. But it puts into perspective that an injury like that can happen. If that happened to one of our players, touch wood, it doesn't. I'm confident one of our attacking players, we've got the cover for that, I think. Midfield, I kind of think so.
Yeah,
Defense,
definitely.
Not sure. But
no, defense, I don't think we do. We've got some bodies in there, haven't we? But in terms of, we definitely, for me, need another centre back that's going to push. I keep forgetting about the extra couple of subs as well. I'm just so used to having the 5. It's 7, isn't it, next season?
7 with 5 to... Is it 7 with 5 to bring on?
I don't know, is it?
I think it is, you know. But you have to do them... I don't know if it's still the same. I think you have to do them within 3 subs... Within 3 sub-windows. So you can bring like 2 on in the first one.
Okay. Yeah,
I think... tell me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I believe that's what it is. And if that is the case... then, you know, I think that's perfect for us with what we've got. Jordan says, yeah. Take that with a pinch of salt from Jordan, to be fair. I'd like someone else to back him up. He's been backed up. I knew you were correct, Jordan. Fully knew that. A lot of people have said yes as well. Let's see what else. Any more questions? Just bang them in the chat. Oliver says, these streams to highlight my week. So great to hear a debate about my club. Keep up the great work throughout the season. Thank you. Really do appreciate that. Glad you enjoy them. They're here to stay for the next, 8 or 9 months. Hopefully not that extra playoff campaign needed this time, though. So, we've spoken about those games. We've spoken about the goals and the way we think we're going to play and how confident we are.
Yeah.
Let's have a little chat about some predictions ahead of the season. Now, we've done our prediction video, and at the end of this, you'll be able to go and watch where we put knots. If you haven't seen it already, I know a few people have, but if you haven't seen it already, then please do have a look. I won't tell you where we put knots, but me and George did choose this, did put them in the same position, and we obviously did that without checking. So let's go for player of the season then. We'll go for a few different comments. Here's the first prediction. Who's your player of the season going to be? And let's get Callum in for Callum's player of the season. No one else. Wouldn't be anyone else. Chickson. Here's our first little prediction. Who are you going for as player of the season? Gut feeling now.
Player of the season. Toby Adebayo-Rolling. I've gone rogue. I've gone rogue.
Absolutely not.
Why?
I just no. I'm going player of the season. I'm going Jody Jones. Jones player of the season.
Could happen, mate.
Top scorer. Go on, finish what I'm going to say.
You look across the board for me. There could be like 8 standout players in my opinion. You've got Bostock, you've got Matty Palmer, you've got Austin Jones, McGoldrick. I think the 2 obvious would probably be McGoldrick and Langstaff.
I mean, literally, look at this here. Didsey, McGoldrick, Palmer, Bostock, Jones, Bostock, Neman. There's Scott in there, Jones again. Like people can't make their mind up. Palmer, Maka, Jones. So yeah, it is going to be fantastic. Top goal scorer.
It's got to be Maka again for me.
Yeah, agreed. I do agree with that. Who's going to be our playmaker? Who's going to get the most assists for us?
I think it's going to be McGoldrick.
I think Aaron Neman from that wing position. Next one. How many goals do we score this season?
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one.
I'd love to revisit this. Well, last season we scored an absolute sickening amount of goals, didn't we? I personally don't think it's going to be anywhere near that. People might say I'm wrong. I'm just going to relook at how many we actually did score last season in the league, not including the playoffs. You got 117. I'm going to go 82.
97.
70 to 80 range we've got.
Come on, we want accuracy. To the
88.
digit.
I think it's going to be 82. And scoring 82. Did you see last season's League 2 for goals?
No.
I've never seen ever, and I looked at it across other seasons. I've never seen 150 as someone put.
That's averaging more than 3 goals a game, isn't it?
If we score 150, it's going to be the best season in our life. Last season's League 2 was absolutely shocking for goals. You ready for this? Leyton Orient won the league, 46 games. How many goals do you think they scored?
92.
61.
What?
Second place, Stevenage. How many did they score?
62.
61. Third place, Northampton. How many did they score?
60.
62. Fourth place, Stockport. How many did they score?
62.
65. Fifth place, Carlisle.
62.
66. Bradford, 7th place. Sorry, 6th place, Bradford.
62.
Bang on, 61. Do you not think that's crazy?
It is low, isn't it?
And then Salford, 72 in 7th place. Mansfield 72 in 8th place. Go on, one more for you. 9th place, Barrow.
It's got to be 62.
47.
Oh,
That blows my mind.
yeah, it just shows you that obviously teams are a little bit tighter at the back in this league, doesn't it?
Well, Leyton Orient also conceded 34 and 46. Like, that's actually incredible. For me, that absolutely blew my mind, those stats. I did have a look through previous seasons, and it's very, very different. I don't know what happened last season. Like last year, Forest Green 70. The year before, Forest Green 75. There's 77 in there, 71. The year before that, you've got 73. Yeah, it's just really interesting. How many are we conceding? Last season was like very low, wasn't it? To say how many times I feel like we made mistakes that were our own doing. How many do you think we're conceding this season?
31.
Don't be silly. 31?
Yeah.
No, come on, now, give me a serious answer. We're not conceding 31 goals. We conceded 42 last season.
31.
I think we conceded 58.
58?
58.
No way. 58. You think we concede 58 goals?
Yeah.
No.
I think we beat Wrexham 7-6 twice. So.
You think we're going to concede 58 goals?
No, I'm going to lower it to 51. I think we'll concede a few. The way we play, it's high risk, high reward. We play a very, very, very risky game. I can see, some of the games we won last season, like 4-0. This year, there'll be like 4-1s and 4-2s. There'll be a couple of goals in it here and there. And I think there'll be a couple of games where we'll concede a fair few goals. I really do.
I don't know, mate.
I'd say at least twice this season we concede 3 in a game. Honestly. This league is, although I won't give it away to people that haven't seen the video, although I think we will do very well, I think that there's a possibility that we can see quite a few as well. 57 here, 55, 50. What do you think?
I think like 50 and above is offensive.
Offensive? 31's offensive.
If you're saying that the league winners scored 62 goals, the league winners, if they scored 62 goals last season, and you think we're going to concede 58?
Yeah, but I said we're going to score 82.
I know, but
that's irrelevant.
That would mean that we've outscored last season's league winners by 20 goals.
David McGoldrick and Macaulay Langstaff up front.
I just don't think one.
If we concede one,
trust on Callum, rely on Callum.
What's Callum going to do when we draw 2-2 on the?
So you think we're going to concede 58 goals and finish third?
No, I said 52.
52. No, you did say 58 though.
Yeah, but then I changed it to 52.
So you think we'll concede 52 goals and finish third?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. Conceded 42 and finished second last year. Yeah,
but that's just an anomaly, isn't it?
You say that, but it could happen again. We're big scorers. I'd be shocked if Langstaff, Scott, and Didzy won't get 60 at least just then. That's what Matt said. You know what? 58 was quite a high number. I'm looking at last season's. Leyton Orient 34, Stevenage 39, Northampton 42.
Oh, that 31 don't sound so offensive now, does it?
It does. 31 would be insane.
Come on, Tom.
How many clean sheets?
Let me work this one out. 15.
15 clean sheets? Absolutely not.
There has to be. For my thing to make sense, there has to be.
Yeah. 8 clean sheets. Trust me, some games we will win 4-1 rather than 4-0 last year, and 3-1, even 3-2. Trust me. Trust me now. When all these numbers are bang on next year, you're going to be crying.
Oh, Tom, someone's had you here.
Why?
Stuart,
tell me, do you make that bet that Tash will come off if we got promoted? Stuart, I'm not going to lie to you. I shaved this at 7:15.
You did as well. I was there.
And it's back, yeah. So technically I did it. You'll never see me on this channel with the tash off unless someone edits it off.
No clean sheets. That's crazy. We must get at least one.
Yeah, I think we'll get. I mean, should be Crawley.
45 clean sheets. Here we go.
Stunning that is, Callum. Stunning. 1 goal conceded, 45 clean sheets. Callum, who do we concede against? Right, George. Who do we do the double over? The one team we do the double over. You've got to guarantee it. I know we're going to do the double over more than one team, but who's that team that you know we're doing the double over? And don't just say. To wind him up.
I'm not saying anything to anyone else. I'm going to say 3 teams that I think will do the double over.
Go on, I'll do 3 as well.
Wrexham, Stockport, Bradford.
We're going to get this channel shut down.
Oh no, and a 4th. Mansfield.
Right, we're doing the double. I'm the sensible one tonight. We're doing the double over Crawley. We're doing the double over Forest Green, and we're doing the double. We're doing the double over Mansfield.
Boring.
They're my 3. Who do we find out next season is a bogey team that we struggle against?
Good question. Good question.
I'm full of good questions. I'm full of them. You know.
I think Bradford, Wrexham, and Stockport probably.
You just said we'll do the double.
Bogey teams next season. That's a good question, Tom.
I think give us two bogey teams that we're gonna. I'm not saying we won't beat them, but it's going to be a struggle in those games. And I'll tell you if I agree.
Salford.
I think Salford's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
I think the Friday night could throw us.
Friday night could throw us.
Who else? One more.
I don't know. I feel like I need to think of one that's not dead obvious.
Can I give you my first one?
Yeah, go on.
I think my first one is going to be Harrogate.
Could be.
Just something silly about them, in my eyes. Who's your second? I know my second.
Yeah.
Someone's just doing a chat as well.
It's not MK Dons, is it?
No.
Oh, Grimsby.
Grimsby's my second.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Grimsby.
So you've gone Grimsby and Salford. I've gone Harrogate and Grimsby. I think that'll be a little bit tricky. I think so.
Yeah.
Now I've said who would do the double over. I've said who you think will be bogey teams for us.
Yeah.
One team, whether it's home or away, in any of the games, one of those games we absolutely smash out of the park, batter. Because we did it last year to Wheelstone, didn't we? 4 up at half time. Who this is all gut feeling, it's never going to happen. But who do you think we absolutely batter? I've got one.
I think Forest Green.
Do you? You think one of those games we hammer them? I think we get Barrow back when they come to Med Lane.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
I think we do that. Forest Green, Crawley, Morecambe, Mansfield at home. Not done that well against Newport over the years. Accrington. I'd love to get Barrow back at home. They did an absolute job on us at our place in that season. Swindon. Oh, would you like to do a double over Swindon, George?
I would, yeah. I would.
Yeah, I would. Here's my next question. You ready for this one? I've got them all written down.
Go on.
Are you impressed?
I'm impressed, mate. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good work.
How many does Macca score this season?
Good question, mate. Good question. I think Macca scores 23.
I don't think that would be too bad, you know.
I don't.
Shall I tell you what I've got written down?
27.
Yeah. We've got a 34, a 25. We've got a 30, a 34, 24, 33.
62.
I think 27. 62 would be ridiculous. It'd be worth like 20 mil. Macca 25 here from Gerald, new channel member, 25. 2 24s. Ian's gone 30. Interesting. So they're sort of our predictions. Very, very loose and not based on any facts at all other than gut feeling.
Yeah.
But it does seem from what I'm reading in the chat that people are fairly confident.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you be, though, after last season?
I think that's what we need to do. Even last season, the problem I had this issue as well, and I think on occasions you did as well. I think you ended up being more positive than me. Is there were some points that season where I had to sort of talk myself into being more positive because I felt like it was not. And it wasn't going to
100%
happen.
though.
Like I remember going to Maidstone away, and I was talking to my dad who went with me, and we were killing them. What was it? 3-0, absolutely killing them. And then they scored 2 goals, and all of a sudden, in my head, I was like, "We're definitely going to lose this, or draw this game 100%." And then we go and breeze and score a couple of goals. This season, I've got to try and be like, no, look, this club's now turned a corner.
Yeah, I think that's a lot easier said though, isn't it? It's a lot easier said. It's been years and years and years of the similar sort of thing. It's like even in more successful times, like when we were in the National League, I know it was a long time coming as being promoted, but it was a successful 4 years. It was like that those steady building blocks, improvements. Obviously, league position slightly swayed a little bit, didn't it? But we still got in the playoffs every season we were down there. But there were so many times, and I remember under Ardley where we'd have so many, like we'd win 2 on the bounce, and then we'd just go and lose. We could never string like a good run of wins together, and it was so frustrating. So that, I don't know, like that for me was like how you felt, how you're saying you felt when we've had years and years and years of just being so bad, really, I suppose. But now we're like steadily going in the right position. But I think any fan, if they're 3-0 up and then it goes to 3-2, you're bound to think, what's going on here? We're going to end up losing.
Yeah.
But it's just the Notts County way, and it's difficult. Next season, it's going to be the same. I know we had a really good season, and I know what you're saying. We need to start believing more in the team. But you can, it's reactionary, isn't it? You see what's in front of you, and if what's in front of you, you're not believing in it, you're going to feel that way, aren't you?
Yeah. So there's a stat just come in. Stuart, if this stat's bang on, that's incredible. If Macca gets 37 more goals, he's in the top 10 goal scorers of all time at Notts, and he's only played 1 season.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
Ian says we must have been the most consistent team in the National League for 4 years without. I'd love to know, and this would probably not be that difficult to find out, of the teams that stayed in the National League for those 4 years, how many points we got compared to everyone else over 4 seasons. Because the big teams in there that were there up at the top were Chesterfield were in there for 4 seasons with us. Boreham Wood were in there for 4 seasons with us. I'd take the word big out of it when I talk about them. Barnet were in there for the 4 seasons with us. Wrexham were in there for the 4 seasons with us.
Yeah, but until they got taken over, they were. I remember when they came to Meadow Lane, it was one of the first games when we were in the National League, and they came, and I remember we did what did we call them then? Because it wasn't like a podcast, was it? Preview, when we did a preview for that game. And all the Wrexham fans are commenting like, we're going to beat you 3-0, we're going to beat you 4-0. And they came with so much confidence. And to be fair, they came in good voice. Not as much voice as they've got now, but still good voice. And we absolutely slayed them. And it ended up being 1-1. But we were all over them. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And they got a really lucky goal. But I think they finished outside the playoffs that season, I'm sure.
A few people are saying that COVID season, Chesterfield and Wrexham nearly went down. Wrexham were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Andrew says Bromley were the only National League team we didn't beat, weren't they? I feel like we did beat them once. They kept drawing against us at Meadow Lane, but I feel like we went to their place and got.
I think they were the only team we didn't beat last season.
Were they?
Yeah.
Be interesting, really interesting to look at all those stats. But we're not even in that league anymore, so why am I bothered? I just like stats anyway. Let's have a look. Any more questions coming in? So someone asked earlier, and there's a lot of comments coming in, which I'm loving. James, here we go. I found it. What's the minimum you'll be happy with at the end of the season? George, I'm going to split that into 2. When we got promoted, what's the minimum you were happy with? And what's the minimum now we've had pre-season with our signings? I'll go first on this one, actually.
Yeah, you go first.
But when we got promoted, and I've said this, you can go back on a video or podcast, I'd have been happy with finishing like 9th or 10th. Because that's the top half finish, clearly challenged for playoffs that season. Now we've made these signings, especially McGoldrick, Crowley as well, and we've kept hold of Macca to this point, touch wood. I'd it's got to be playoffs minimum. What about you?
I agree.
On both fronts.
Yeah.
Like I was well in my head, I was thinking like if we finish in like 8th, 9th, or 10th, that is a fantastic first season back in the Football League. But we've recruited so well. If you would say at the end of the season, if he touch wood, he stays fit all season, that David McGoldrick in, Crowley in, McCoy Langstaff finish like 10th, I'd be thinking that they're underachieved with Luke Williams as manager.
100%. Do you think there's many teams that will finish in the top half that would have started the season thinking we want to be getting minimum playoffs? Because if we're not top half at the end of the season, there's problems there because we've got the squad to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
take it all away. It's just how it's managed, and I have no doubt it will be managed very well. And I'm sure there's fans from clubs in this league watching us now, thinking these guys ain't got a clue what they're walking into. But literally, I have so much confidence in Luke Williams' managerial ability. I genuinely think. I think to finish playoffs will be like the minimum. I think we could genuinely get automatic. Genuinely.
We got slated by a few people from our video predictions. People think we're underestimating that division. We're not. Think how many years of our lives we've been in that division. 20 maybe 19 years of our life in that division. I know other people have had a lot longer. We know what that division's about, and we've said here it's going to be. I've said here on this show like 20 minutes ago, it's going to be a way harder season than before. But I think this squad that we've got at the minute, Stockport did it last year and almost went up. That season goes on for another 3 or 4 weeks. Stockport get automatic, or they start their run 3 or 4 weeks earlier. They get automatic. So, but I will tell you, if we did finish 10th, I'll be disappointed then. But I would also see it like 3 weeks after the season as we got promoted and we're stable in that division. But I'm confident. James, I'm very similar. I wouldn't be too upset with top half, but now I think we get one of those automatic spots for sure with this squad. Yeah, it's how we manage in the season as well. It's it's like January, how we take January, and if Mac has got anywhere near he did at the start of last season, where he's sort of 15 before Christmas, the clubs come in for him, and yeah, it'll be interesting. A lot of people here predicting 3rd place, bang on 3rd place. Interesting, very, very interesting. George, before we wrap up, because next week we're going to be talking Sutton, and it's literally a week's time, and we're going to be 3 days away from the Sutton game, which we'll be at. Anything you want to get in before, or questions you want to pose to me or to anyone else before we go to the big preview next week, where it really starts to get serious and we don't have time for predicting how many clean sheets we'll get?
The only one that I wanted to go over was McGoldrick. How many goals do people think McGoldrick's going to get? And maybe assist. So a few goals and
14 goals, 10 assists.
Yeah, I think. You know what's weird? I thought 14 goals as well. Have we spoken about this before?
No.
Oh, that's disgusting, Tom. Yeah, so I think 14 goals, but I think he'll get 18 assists. I think he'll get more assists than goals.
I think he'll be so good this season. But the squad we've got, Jody Jones, Scott, Crowley, going to be interesting. Going to be really, really interesting.
One last one as well.
Go on.
Vice captain. Who are we saying? Could be loads in there because you've got your obvious ones that probably do that role without really probably wanting the role, like Jim.
Bostock or Maka.
Bostock for sure. Yeah.
Maka was given the armband last season for a bit, wasn't he?
I think he was, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people saying Bostock vice captain, Bostock 100%. Yeah, be interesting. We've sort of taken this preseason a bit easier than last time with everything that went off. in the last season with things like getting to the playoffs, the amount of content we put into that. We've taken this a little bit more steady. To this point, we've only had 3 Pavis perspectives and one prediction video. But this season, 100%, we've had chats. This is going to be a massive season for the channel. So thank you for being with us already on this journey. 125 people, but I can tell you by the end of this season, we're hoping this channel has grown a huge amount. We're really going for it in terms of content. Hoping you enjoy it. Hoping you enjoyed this Thursday edition, because next week it starts to get serious. Next week it's back to predicting the lineup for that first game. We'll have an It's All Black and White episode, the first of next season. On the Saturday straight after the game, we'll put that up. So, massive amounts come from us. There is one question that's been put in the chat, George, twice already. Very quickly to finish on, who takes penalties? I'm going after the one I saw at Wembley, Maka.
After the one I saw at Wembley, I'm saying John Bostock.
And we'll leave it there. That's confidence for you. That's confidence. So, hopefully see everyone back next Thursday for a huge episode ahead of our Football League return. Thank you again to our gold members, Gerald, Callum, for supporting the channel. If you would like to, the join button is below. Thank you for all your comments, questions tonight. It's been a fantastic episode, very, very interactive. As always, thank you for tuning in to our Pavis Perspective on Thursday nights. Don't forget to like, comment anything else you can think of, and finally subscribe to the channel.